good thing is maybe it's also the end of the year. Things seems to have quietened down, and in conversations with analysts and investors, it seems that there's a little bit more realism and expectations are more muted now. And the best thing for me coming in the second half of the year is all those advertisements that I get on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, where there are people trying to teach me how to make money quickly using technical analysis or following Katie Wood's funds. Those things have all gone quiet. So now I'm enjoying social media a little bit more. On the bad side, of course, this year we thought that we would be getting into a full year of recovery, but then Omicron came first before the war, and subsequently then the crypto and several cases of fraud started to pop up, and the technology stocks got hit. Many of the funds got hit, and then strangely, interest rates started to spike up from second quarter of this year. Inflation came up, and famously, some of our senior guys said, "Oh, inflation is just a short-term blip, but look where it's gotten us now. It's dragged and dragged." So on the real estate side, we are now getting a very nasty combination. So I'm focusing on the bad now. Nasty combination of inflation, which is increasing our MCST bills, management fees. Our energy costs, of course, have gone up also with inflation. The GST increase is coming up, so expect a few more contractors to be billing you with a little bit more charges. Property tax will go up next year, and then interest rates are suddenly, new home loans are at 3.5%, 4%, and there are many people who would be just taking out a larger chunk of their salary and their CPF to service all these increased costs. So that's the bad. And then what's for ugly? The ugliness I find is that it is getting more and more murky and more difficult to read the market. Data seems to be not congruent and very confusing, and it is impossible to forecast. So again, back to real estate. Why is the residential market so resilient? Why are people still rushing to buy, despite the fact that in the last 3 years since COVID has happened, we have a decline of total population of 66,000 decline, but yet we had an additional total number of dwelling units built of 50,000 units. So we have got a headcount decline, additional physical units built, but yet the property prices are going up despite the headwinds of inflation and high interest rates. So to me, this inability to look forward and try to make sense of what's going to happen in the next 12 months, to me, that's ugly, because the data is not congruent. It does not fit into the traditional methods of being able to give you any forecast and outlook.
Is this done on purpose?
No idea.
Okay, we'll move on to Jaya on that. Good, the bad, the ugly for you?
Yes. The good is, with the recalibration because of COVID, many people have taken time off to reevaluate their life and lifestyles. And suddenly, for the first time, they've had time to sit down and ponder and think what it's all about. Otherwise, they were caught up in this rat race, day in, day out, and almost like being on a treadmill without thinking. And so many of them have chosen variations in lifestyle and also attitudes towards work and so on and so forth. This has posed challenges to the employers because a large percentage of, especially the younger employees, Generation Y, Z, and so on, are considering moving portfolio. So there's going to be a lot of churn. And the ability to attract new employees based on your environmental awareness, your progressiveness as a company, the working colleagues you have, management style, and so on, is going to determine who you are able to attract and how you are able to retain them. Another interesting challenge is that those families who have been forced to work at home have now been confined for 2 years within a small space. And that has created its own tensions within families. And that has also caused a number of breakups and so on. And that's a worrying trend. And that's the bad and the ugly part of it.